All right, everybody, nice to be here in Riga Airport, Latvia. My name is Vincent Lyn. I run a foundation in New York City called We Can Save Children. I travel all over the world. I'm a representative of the United Nations and also the International Human Rights Commission in New York. So before coming to Latvia, I was actually, the day that the war broke out in Ukraine, when Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, I was actually in Syria, helping refugees in Syria and both Lebanon. And I called my colleague here in Riga, former member of parliament, Jānis, and I said, you know, how are things in Latvia? What's the feeling of the people? Is there any way that I can offer any assistance? So after I spent a month in Syria and Lebanon, I flew back to New York and prepared things, and a couple of weeks later I flew back here. And so we just, together with an NGO local here in Latvia called Tavi Draugi, okay, which means sorry for my bad Latvian, but I think it translates as in your friends. Okay, so we signed a declaration with my foundation, and a team of 5 of us took humanitarian aid and supplies in 2 vehicles. We drove through Lithuania, Poland, and crossed the border into Ukraine. Obviously, we met with another local Ukrainian NGO in Lviv, so that we were sure that the humanitarian aid was obviously going to get to the right people who needed the help inside Ukraine. So we were all very pleased that we got that first half. We were going to go on further to Kiev with this NGO from Lviv, but I said to Jānis, I said, you know, first, well, major priority, of course, is to get families out of Ukraine and get them to safety, either in Poland or back here to Latvia. So that's what we did. We waited for 5:30 a.m. in the morning at the Lviv train station, waiting for one woman who 72 years old. We also picked up another young woman who was from, I think, Kharkiv, who was 32, going to visit her son and mother, who had gotten taken out when her city or town had gotten bombed, and they were in the Netherlands. And we met at the border another family, the family you see behind me. A mother, it was actually her birthday. She had been traveling for more than 3 days from Kherson with her 11-year-old son and 7-month-year-old baby. So we were able to get them out as well, and of course, you know, the stories that are coming out, the atrocities are just unimaginable. I've seen a lot of suffering in Syria, in Iraq, in Nigeria, in South Sudan, but the things that are happening in Ukraine are just, they're, I don't know, mind-boggling, unfathomable. We can't believe in 2022 we're still seeing these types of things. One story I will share with you, because I think it's important, and it's certainly not an easy story, but I feel I should say it. When we arrived at the border, it was actually a small town. It was a quiet border, not the main border, called Budomieres in Poland. So we arrived in the afternoon, well, actually early morning, and we were sitting there and we spoke to the Ukrainian border guard. Well, actually, he came up to us, realizing what we were doing there and why we were coming and bringing aid. And he started telling us his story. And here is this soldier carrying the AK-47. And as he's telling the story, he starts crying. And not just 20 minutes before we arrived at the border, a large bus of Ukrainian children, the bus was full, from ages of around, I think, 7, 8 to like 15 years old, boys and girls. They were all being evacuated to a local medical facility in Poland. All the girls had been raped by Russian soldiers, and the boys had all their teeth smashed out with the butts of the rifle, and some had even had their teeth pulled out with pliers. So this was our introduction. And it didn't hit me till later. I'm hearing the story. I've seen these types of things before. The soldier is in tears. He can't hold it back. It didn't hit me till that evening when I'm on a video call and I just start crying, you know, inside my room. So these are the things that are happening. I'm glad we had a good, successful, I don't want to say successful, but we got the things we needed to get to the people there, and also to successfully get Ukrainian family and other citizens out to safety. So I'm glad about that. We're already preparing another mission, much bigger, which will be later. So thank you all for listening and to be here. I'm just going to play a few things. I'm actually a Grammy artist, and I have a concert actually I'm doing at Carnegie Hall again in December, the famous venue in New York City. And I'm actually going to make sure that the concert is in solidarity for the citizens of Ukraine. So enough, thanks. Of course, that's, you know, John Lennon's Imagine. Certainly much needed now. There's a song that I wrote with a colleague of mine in New York who's actually the #1 Billboard R&B singer back in 2017. And about 4 years ago, she called me up and said, you know, we need to write a song for global peace. And I thought, 4 years ago, okay. I sat down at the piano and came up with some rough ideas. The song kind of sat and got collected dust. A few years went by, and of course the world got hit with the pandemic for the past 2.5 years. And I think it seems that it's passed, I hope, God willing. But here now we have a war in Europe we haven't seen since World War II 80 years ago. And of course, you know, a country here, the Baltic states, that's so close, it's certainly a worry, but a worry for everyone, you know, with the talk of nuclear weapons and this kind of craziness. So I'd like to, you can actually go on YouTube, this song that we recorded, and we had to record it obviously virtually. I recorded the parts of piano and cello in Portugal. Melissa B. recorded her vocals in New York. The video was put together and mastered in Europe, and then, of course, a choir that a group of orphans in Uganda that I help, they recorded their parts in Uganda, and then the entire song was remastered back in New York. So I'm going to play along with it. It's unfortunate Melissa can't be here. That would be really something. But obviously we're going to premiere the song at Carnegie Hall in December. The actual song hit #3 on the worldwide iTunes chart, actually, and #6 on Amazon. So you guys can check it out. It's called Just Imagine, People United, and there's really great video with it.
Time has come for everyone to look inside of your home, to run away from what's inside of you. Together we are stronger. The light of love
Thank you. As I said, just you can YouTube the video. It's called Just Imagine People United. And surely something we need more than anything. I was sitting, actually, usually I play every day. I have to, you know. It's like being an athlete. If you don't train every day, you know, you're going to get rusty. So I've been traveling a lot, so I haven't been able to practice. And thank this man here, Yanis, who said, you know what, we should do this, what is it called again? Flash mob. And I said, what the hell is that? Had no idea what flash mob is. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, he, you know, got me to do this, and I said, yeah, this is a great idea, but I said, I'd like to, you know, it's been a couple of weeks, I haven't even sat behind a piano, so I feel the cobwebs in my fingers. So it took me over to, I was dropped off at the Radisson Blu, right, in the center of town, and they have a grand piano there, which of course I would much rather be playing, but this is cool. And I sat down and I thought, you know, hashtag, of course, there are so many stand with Ukraine, different spellings I've noticed of the country Ukraine, but nonetheless, I thought to myself, I should come up with something, you know, something like brand new off the top of my head. So enjoy. Maybe it's a little more upbeat, so instead of everything being so, you know, down. So enjoy.
Es to redzu tā.
Okay, thank you. The tech guy. I don't have a title for this, but you know, Stand with Ukraine sounds pretty good to me. You could maybe come up with something even better. Yanis, it's up to you, man. That's not the backing track that I chose. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. And let's stand with Ukraine. God bless. Thank you.